Counseling Class 105. My name is Dan Martinez, and this is going to be the reflection part of our final project. So I thought, what better way to show kind of the progression or advice that I have to give to my younger self than to take a little trip from my elementary school, middle school, and high school. And since they're so close together, it was pretty easy to do as well. So here's my elementary school, LAE, Tiger. It was the mascot. So kind of just talking about advice I would give to my younger self. At this stage and point of test taking and school-wise, there's not much to it. You're K through 5 right now, so if you know your basic colors, you know your basic shapes, and you know how to do simple addition and subtraction, you're fine, right? And I would tell my younger self right now, as is, if there was a little version of me by my side, I would say, start getting prepared to have better work ethic, working your way up from K through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. And make sure you tie your shoes, because there's going to be some embarrassing moments of you falling. Hi there. I didn't notice you were there. Alright, so here's my middle school. But let's just wrap up elementary school real quick. So in the state of California, by the time you should have entered 5th grade, you should have already taken a standardized Californian test. This is kind of assessing the things you learned all the way through K through 5, and this is kind of what they're going to place you or determine what classes you're going to be taking through 6 through 12. This is kind of controversial in the idea that this is called tracking, but we won't really get into that. We're just talking about our final project and a little bit about the advice that I'll give to myself in middle school. Stay out of trouble, get ready for more work in high school and in college, and most important, you're still young, you're still a kid, have fun, but just get ready that as time progresses, it's going to get tougher. So before we get into the reflection part of the project, let's go a little bit into just test taking and tests in general. So let's talk about the 3 different main tests that we'll be taking just kind of over our lifespan and over our academic career. Multiple choice tests, which are 4 options. This is going to be probably the easiest test in my opinion, because we have a list of options to choose from, so we don't need to recall it. There's essay-based questions, and this is kind of short answer, maybe mix them with a little bit of multiple choice. And then there's straight up when the teachers are mean and they're angry at life. When it's just there's just a blank, and we have to remember it just from our memory. All right, and let's go back into the reflection. So this is kind of the high school deal. You're gonna get all teachers, counselors, and a lot of people are gonna start questioning you about college, which college you want to go to, how are your grades, what do you want to do with your life. And of course, this is kind of a really stressful time in all of us, because we had to manage grades, we probably have to manage some sports that we're in, and we have to maybe manage our jobs. Advice that I would give to myself now is, honestly, maybe you got to take off a few things off from your list, because I was doing a few things around this time, and each one of those things took away from the other. So maybe if I took away some of my athletic career and maybe focus more about academics, I would have had maybe a higher GPA, and I could have gone maybe to a 4-year straight off the bat. I'm pretty happy where I ended up in at a 2-year, because at Orange Coast, I feel like now just taking Counseling 105, I'm developing even further into the student I want to be. I study more, I know how to study, and I can just already tell that the test grades are going to be way better from what they were now in high school. Just to go and kind of talk more even about that. Yeah, and just kind of talk more about it, and maybe just wrap up the project or the reflection part of it in general. The most helpful thing I think in Counseling 105 so far has probably been test taking and time management. Like I kind of was talking about before, knowing how much you got on your plate and how much you can actually do is really important. Of course, you should strive to be a competitive student and maybe volunteer, schoolwork, job, and do the whole shebang. You gotta understand that some of it is gonna be taken away from others. Advice that I would just give to me, a student and someone entering the top program next year will for sure be, this is college now, so be prepared to take a significant time out of your day to study. This is not doing, studying and a homework I don't think are the same in my opinion. You do homework and it's kind of just like mentally you're just focused and you think this is homework. Like I got to get it done with. Studying should not be like that. You should sit down, open up the textbook and open up your notebook and really like get down to it and really like review what your teacher has to offer and just kind of talking about like studying habits, math. I would say probably like just to get really specific into the project. For me, I feel like the best way to study in math would be opening up the textbook and just doing problems over and over again from the textbook and just like mastering the concepts. All right. Thank you for watching the video.